Live. And what we're talking about is what is a Tyrannizer? Tyrannizer. Tyrannizer. And Fraudit Wrangler is an excellent example. Perfect. Perfect, I said. Perfect example of what is a Tyrannizer. Tyrannizer. Basically, it should be read similar to douchebag. So, like, it's synonymous with douchebag, but it has specific qualifying characteristics. So, a tyrannizer is a person who is a complete tyrant. I guess I spelled that wrong. And seeks to promote their tyranny into the public's policy realm. They are easily indicated by their advocacy of criminal sentencing for people merely trying to exercise a human right, such as recording. First Amendment. Key behaviors: falsehoods, hypocrisy, logical fallacies with a favorite of calling names, ad hominem attack. They love to call names. Oh, and if you're a criminal, you have no opinion. You get no opinion. You're just supposed to go away, wither, and die in silence. They are losers who go out on the internet and attack. That's the name they've given First Amendment auditors, frauditors. I don't know what element the fraud is, but whatever. And government auditors, basically. So what is a frauditor? Frauditor is the name given by tyrannizers that seem to try to indicate that people in the United States have no rights, cannot influence their government's public policy lawfully, and that their attempt to profit off YouTube and other social media constitutes as some kind of fraud, as in frauditor. I personally see nothing wrong with filming the government and its buildings. Also, the government claims you have almost no privacy when charging you. So, like, one of the main arguments that they make is, oh, you're violating somebody's privacy. Well, okay. Well, what happens to that privacy when the police walk up alongside your car? They're allowed to look in. Well, that's not, you have no privacy. So if the police can look in because you have no privacy, why do you have privacy when I try to look into your car? I mean, the police don't have special powers unless they have probable cause and shit like that. They got to have some sort of legal justification, exigent circumstances, something that gives them lawful authority. They can't just be like, I'm a police officer, so I can do things, go places, look at stuff, and take things that you can't do. No, that's not how law works. I remember the powers of government were delegated by the people. So if people don't have the right to do something, the government doesn't have the right to do it unless the government is exercising the power of the union or sovereignty, in which case it has to follow the rules of sovereignty. In this case, the Constitution of the United States or whatever state you're in, or maybe the Indian tribes if you happen to be on that land. Sovereign citizens, my personal favorite. They have no idea what law is, but they all these groups, everybody in America shares sovereign citizens. They want out of the social contract or whatever you want to call it, and so what they do is they start reading law to try to understand it. They quickly get overwhelmed. So they learn about something called case precedents, and what happens is, what they do is, they find something somewhere that says exactly what they think they want it to say, and they run with it, and they go to jail thinking that they're the free morer on the land, and so that absolves them from their, whatever. And there is some precedence and there is some not precedence for this, because, like, for example, they have recently started saying that Indians that go off the reservation can't be charged uh, by the states that they happen to be in. So, but for the most part, those are rare exceptions, I would say, and I don't know if that's going to necessarily hold up. For the most part, sovereignty does yield to the bigger sovereign. So, you know, the Indian tribes yield to the states that they're in, the states yield to the federal government that they're part of, and back and forth. Anyways, these people are similar to all the other groups when it comes to law. Tyrannizers have given up on their ability to understand the laws, so they cope by just doing what they're told and following the herd for protection. They won't be protected. Frauditors have done something similar. They have given up on their ability to figure out how to use their First Amendment, and so they just film until arrested. And if law has a purpose, that purpose is to maintain peace and tranquility. So to arrest people for just exercising their First Amendment as they see it is not lawful, because you're not maintaining peace and tranquility. What you're doing is you're engaging in violence, and you're promoting violence. So, like, if you can get arrested for something simple like just trying to record a courthouse or something, then why follow any of the more serious laws? I mean, if recording with your cell phone gets you, let's just say, 1 year, and robbery gets you 2 years, why not just rob shit? It creates a disrespect for the law, and it devalues the life. So sovereign citizens, so they find some case somewhere that appears to say that they can ignore the laws of the state, like driver license requirements, until they get arrested. Notice everybody gets arrested every time. There's no not getting arrested angle element, but that's the state. So we went and we were talking about the perfect example of a douchebag tyrannizer. And here we have it. We have Fraudit Wrangler. Now, first of all, he is an order follower. He was in the military, and that's fine. When you're in the military, that's what we want. Order followers. Your commanding officer tells you to do something. That's what the military needs, is you to do what you're told. But there's a difference between military life and civilian life. When you get out in civilian, we do not want order takers. If you're an order taker, what happens if you fall for the confines of a cult? Now you're an order taker that's taking orders from a cult. You know, are you going to drink the Kool-Aid or blow something up? That's what cults do. I mean, at Waco in Texas, the Branch Davidians, they were ordered followers, except for Koresh, who was I'm putting air quotes on this, leader of all these followers, and he led them, and they followed him to their death, all in some sort of grandiose bravada of, we're going to take on the FBI, aka Uncle Sam. So while I was in the military, following orders is honorable. There are some orders that you're not supposed to follow, but I'm not going to get into all the technicalities of, the Posse Comitatus Act and those kind of concepts. But once Mr. Douchebag Frauditor Wrangler here got out of the military, that's where we no longer respect order followers so much. Now, if you're advocating for public policy, I don't think we ever advocate for just do what you're told. Because, well, like, uh, water supply. There's a town in Michigan that you can't drink the water because somebody decided to save government money, or most likely just redirect it to a pet project. The water quality in the town, and I believe the technical problem was that they allowed the pH level of the water to get too acidic, and that pH level and that acid ain't the lining of their uh, iron pipes underground for fresh water. And the lining was what made the pipes safe to drink. Well, when they didn't monitor the pH level, the acid ain't that lining, and now you have rusting pipes that you can't use really for drinking water. And this is what I mean by we don't want order followers in civilian government life. You know, a police department might have a command structure, but your job shouldn't be contingent on you obeying every order no matter what. So the guy working at the water treatment plant should have just shut down the whole water treatment plant and shouldn't have been following orders, because as an operator of a federally and state regulated water treatment facility, he had every right to exercise his knowledge, training, and experience on that system to override unlawful orders from his command structure. And that's what Mr. Wrangler, Frauditor, Wrangler, Auditor, Tyrannizer, this douchebag doesn't understand. We don't live in a command structure, a totalitarian, feudal system, or anything like that. We live in a republic with democratic institutions. And so, anyways, he's going to start. He is just so impressed with that lawnmower with a cell phone attached. I mean, yeah. Maybe what you could do is get one of those new robotic mowers and then just sit there and watch his stupid videos even more.
Good afternoon and
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah. I mean, all he does is spew this
happy Sunday,
hate.
Roughnecks.
And
Wrangler here. And
while he's
apparently,
spewing this hate,
Mr. Reyes from Long Island.
Oh yeah, that was a slip of the tongue. It was a Freudian slip. I didn't mean to disparage and call name on somebody else. It was just a slip of the tongue.
Audit has decided that he's going to take some of his ill-gotten scam money and go to Hawaii.
So how is it scam money? And how is the money that you take any different than his money? So if his money is fucking scam money, then your money that you're getting from YouTube is scam money. It's the same money for the same reasons, even dumber. Because you don't even do anything. You just sit at home and look at other people's. Well, I'm doing the same thing, and I'm literally doing the same thing you're doing, and you're literally doing the same thing he's doing. Except for if you look at my YouTube channel, it's not monetized because I really don't care.
And while doing this, of course, he can't go enjoy his vacation. Of course, he can't fly anywhere really further than Hawaii, not with
I thought you just said that he used his channel money, and his channel money is based on him auditing government places, which you don't like. So by taking the money and going to Hawaii and then going to a courthouse and trying to record it, isn't he actually using the money for what he took it for? And so you want to bitch both ways. No matter what, in fact. No matter what this dude does. Fucking fraudit Wrangler wants to bitch. It's not right. It's not. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, okay. We're back online with Rumble for the moment. Streaming at 2.2 megabits per second. It should be fine.
It's Sean Reyes, and he does this so that he tries to confuse them, and so they can't pull up his jacket, which is
What? What? What'd you just say, you fucking redneck?
it's Sean Reyes, and he does this so that he tries to confuse them, and and of course he can't fly anywhere really further than Hawaii, not with his criminal record. And that's why he tells people his name's Sean Paul Reyes. It's not. It's Sean Reyes, and he does this so that he tries to confuse them.
Are you fucking kidding me? You're trying to say that a dude, including his middle fucking name, is some attempt to remove your ability to find his background? Are you fucking retarded? I mean, what in the... that is the dumbest... It doesn't get any dumber than that. My name is Jason Jensen. Oh, let me put that cloak a dagger. I am now going secret. My name is Jason Adam Jensen. See how you'll never find my freaking record now? See? Because, you know, there's a big difference between Jason Jensen and Jason Adam Jensen. Oh my God.
And so they can't pull up his jacket, which is not good. But so
it's not good, huh? Well, he's out of jail, so apparently, whatever his background is, he's served his time. I thought that was supposed to mean something, right? Isn't punishment of criminal activity all based on the promotion of lawful activity, so that once punishment is served, it's supposed to be complete, and once it's complete, a person is supposed to be able to move on? Otherwise, once you're a criminal, why not just be a criminal? Why follow gun laws and property rights and any of that? You're a criminal. You're a criminal forever. You know, you get no say. You can't start a YouTube channel because you have a background. I mean, this dude is wrong on every count.
Yeah, he's gonna go play in Hawaii, and he's gonna have a bad day. And so we're gonna
He doesn't really have a bad day.
title this "Man Girdle Goes to Hawaii." And in case some of you, for some reason, don't know,
you gotta
who
put
he
in
is,
some sort of
show you.
freaking bullshit.
This is Sean
Oh
Paul
look,
Reyes.
he's got
We call
man
him Man Girdle.
boobs. Got man boobs.
But
Oh
after
my
seeing
God!
this picture, maybe we
Don't worry
shift,
about what
but
he's saying.
Do
He's
it.
fat.
But,
All
alright, guys,
fat
we're in the
people don't
facility
get a
here.
right to
That's
say
the metal
anything,
detector.
according to Fraudit
Let's
Wrangler.
take a look around.
Are you
Beautiful
fat?
building
Then
here.
shut the
Yeah.
hell up.
yes, Hawaii is extremely beautiful, and
You
I
don't
have been
get to
there.
say any.
And let me tell you what they don't like at Hawaii. Can go do whatever the hell they want.
That's your
Who's reporting
opinion.
us?
What do you
Yes,
speak
but
for
they're not
all
disseminating it
Hawaiians
on
because
YouTube
you've
without
been
a
there?
profit. And in fact, it's not even
Even though it always seems.
to count to two.
Let's take a look around.
Oh my God! Did you count?
How about you
to
take
two?
a look around an employment office, you criminal bastard?
Over here.
Oh, criminal!
Excuse me? Public lobby.
So
It
here
doesn't
they
matter
have
because-
some sign on the wall that says you can't record. And this is a courthouse, so based on precedent, the judge can order that no recording be placed in this building. Okay. But a judge has to give notice of his orders and his rules. That's why the court will have local rules. Okay. And that's why they publish them, is because they have to give notice on those local rules. Now, when you file paperwork and stuff with a judge, when you're a party or a defendant, well, a plaintiff, a party, can be a plaintiff or a defendant or intervener or whatever. If you're a party and you're filing paperwork, it can be assumed that you know the rules. But when you're going to a courthouse just to, say, observe the proceedings or to speak with the clerk or any number of reasons, maybe you're a witness or a juror, as soon as you are a party, everyone else is due notice of the court rules. So it is proper that they put, in big letters, no recording inside this building. But this Sean Paul Reyes guy is correct. They're required to give notice of that. And in particular, they're required to give notice of the rule, not notice of their interpretation of the rule. Okay, so by saying no audio and video recording in this building, that's their interpretation of the rule. That's not the rule. That's not the order. They're required to give notice of the order or the rule or the law. And the reason why you're required to give notice of the lawful authority in which you're making, the policy that there's no recording is because no audio and video recording is not descriptive enough. Okay, so and you're gonna say, well, no, it's clear as day, no, it's clear as day. Okay, well, how clear is it? I know a buddy who's deaf. He uses a cell phone application that converts spoken words in the area of the cell phone, any spoken words in any language received by the microphone on his phone will be converted to visual text so he can read it. Okay, that's audio recording. Okay, no audio recording, but he's using it to aid in his disability. So this institution would be required to modify their rules, policies, and procedures so that he can participate with his disability aid device. Okay, and that's why they have to give you more notice than just the sign that says no audio and video recording, because the whole time, especially as a courthouse, they have to maintain a person's substantial and procedural due process rights. So by putting that sign up there and having no procedure to get in with a cell phone that's used as a disability aid, they have violated everyone's and anyone who needs a disability device that includes video and audio recording. They have denied all those people substantial and procedural due process rights. So that is not lawful. And in fact, the order that they're working off of probably still violates those substantial and procedural due process rights. Because just like, Stone County, Missouri, in my case, they have no exceptions whatsoever for any reason, no matter what. You're just not allowed to record. And what's worse is these small little courthouses like that, when you do have proceedings and hearings and stuff, they don't record none of that. So there's no record. It's just the judge's order and whatever paperwork was filed. Everything that was said at the hearing, they don't want you to record, and they don't record it themselves.
Because they told you. That should be good enough.
See, this is the thing. No, that shouldn't be good enough. Officer tells you to take your pants down alongside the road and bend over. Why are you even thinking? Just they told you, so do it.
Part of confidential hearings.
But they should, if they're confidential hearings, they shouldn't have them in open public where anyone can be.
Okay,
They
so
don't.
he's doing
All
the
you're
dilly gaff, and he's saying, I don't care. Do I look like I give a fuck? Okay, so why are you making a video about something you don't care about? Oh, you're full of shit.
Doing is going in there to stir up fraud, not hate. $20 now.
To be more like a law.
No, I just explained his whole argument. You have procedural and substantial due process. Putting a sign up that says no audio and video recording does not give you any due process because, the point where they say the judge has an order you can't audio and video record it, then just say you want a hearing with the judge for your objections. Okay? And until they do that, then the order is suspended because you have objections and the judge hasn't heard your objections yet. Doesn't matter if they're the same objections that maybe everybody before him has said. Unless his order specifically addresses those objections, he has to recognize your objections and then rule on your objections before the activity that you're doing violates his order because you have objections. And that's what due process means. You have to have a process. But that's always what government wants to do now, is remove the process. Everything just wants to be a command structure, just like this stupid-ass ex-Marine or whatever wants. Everything just be an order. Well, just no cameras. Doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. No camera. What do you mean it's not a big deal? It's a huge deal. The government is supposed to be open. The whole thing. And all this trade or national security secrets and all this other crap has snowballed over time. And now all of government acts like the mafia. You ask them a question, I don't have to answer your questions. But they want you to answer theirs. Right? You're the bitch. Okay? And then, you want to go there and see how they operate? No, there's no recording documentation. No. Somebody might be here. There might be a kid. There might be something that, we have the right to protect. Okay, well, is there? Right now, is there? No, there's not. The fact that there may or could have been is irrelevant. There isn't.
Maybe even a judge's order.
The policy is based on a judge's order, you effing crack baby.
Is it? What is the order? What is the policy? Where's the substantial due process? Where's the right for anybody with a disability to use their disability aid that may use microphones and cameras and stuff? Self-driving cars use cameras like the Tesla to drive. Maybe a new wheelchair with automatic camera navigation. You can't record in here. Oh, bullshit. Law is always nuanced.
Do I have any identification? No, just my name's Sean. Just Sean.
If you don't...
Yeah, he needs to see the order so he can follow it. That's basic law 101. That's why they publish statutes. That puts you on notice that that's the law. I object to that idea a little bit since, the federal government puts you on 95,000 pages of notice of federal law. 95,000 pages. That's incomprehensible.
Don't have any identification. How the hell did you get?
Okay, so there's two different things when people say identification. Now, asking if you have identification in one sense is stupid, because identification just means your name, date of birth, address, stuff like that. So everyone has identification. So if you're asking if somebody has identification, you're not asking if they know their name or anything. You're asking if they have some sort of physical identification, most likely a picture identification or photo identification. And no, you're not required to carry that. He could have flown on the plane, got off the plane, went to the hotel, changed his pants, and in his new pants, the ID is in the old pants, so he doesn't have ID. That's how you fly with ID, without ID, okay? because you're not in the plane when you asked. You're outside the plane, you've been to the hotel and then back, and now you're at a courthouse, so you've traveled around town.
To Hawaii in the first place. Would you take a train?
No, he took a train. There's a subway train that goes from Honolulu to New York, and that was the most direct route. Honolulu to New York, it was direct.
There's a judge's order.
Of shit.
It's horrible.
That's that. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, you're a piece of shit, man. Yeah, your argument, what you're doing, everything that you're saying is wrong. Why? Because you're a piece of shit. You know why? Because you're a piece of shit. I've determined you're a piece of shit, and so everything you say, no one should listen to. Why? Because you're a piece of shit. The fact that he doesn't have anything better to say than some name calling like a 4-year-old in recess, maybe he should indicate that you should do more research about what this other guy is doing. Of course, it's an interesting video name. Unhinged Bootlicker tries to antagonize journalists. Unhinged Bootlicker. Is he talking about Fraudit Wrangler? Oh no, I don't think so.
What's my problem?
And by the way, you don't actually support the police unless you deep throat the whole boot. Now, I forgot who said that. That's not mine. I'm stealing that from somebody else. But I love those words. So this guy's acting like, oh my God, I'm being harassed. I'm out in public. I'm a plaintiff, which means I filed a lawsuit. I should have privacy. Oh, no, you don't. I mean, when your case gets called, I can walk right in there. Now, not with a camera. I'm not saying with a camera. But as a person, I can walk right in there and sit down and watch the whole hearing. Everything you say, everything they say. It's all public record. Oh, and this douchebag says that this is not a public forum. Okay, this is a courthouse. It is the definition of public forum. Any person may petition a court for redress or enforcement of the law or whatever. That's what the nature of the petition in there. Any person and everything a court does, unless there is good reason, is public. It's open, public record. And let's say I sue you. Well, your neighbor could intervene. And so the court proceedings is not private or anything like that. There could not be a more public forum in this country than a court and a courthouse. The reason why he's trying to say it's not a public forum is because the court has used its authority as the third branch to basically set up rules of contempt that allow them to control the courtroom decorum. And there's some good reason for this because, if the court's trying to proceed and I just want to be a jerk that stands up and goes, no, 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 well, then all I'm doing is trying to disrupt the proceedings. Now, the court has fashioned a lot of common law around recording court proceedings and needing permission and all that. But all that is a procedural thing. So what they're saying is you have to get permission just so that the judge has an opportunity to consider if there are any matters that need protection, okay? And that is a convenience for the judge, but it's a proper one, okay? You're always supposed to facilitate the judge. So them having the procedure requiring permission is fine. But that policy is usually not a permissive. It doesn't say the judge may. It should say the judge will unless. Okay? So in other words, you absolutely can record to court, but you do have to get permission. But you absolutely will get permission unless there's a lawful authority restricting recording of those proceedings. And then it has to be those proceedings. Very rarely can the whole court case be stricken from the record or made private. And so, if there's a child testifying, then only the hearing where that child is testifying is private. Even later, when they have hearings talking about his testimony, the only privacy they give him was they use his initials, but what he said and what he testified to is no longer private.
What sign?
No, I.
So if there's any law, I'm not.
Oh
I need to
God!
know. I need to.
I make an argument by playing an idiot in a Doctor Idiot movie that says wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Just like a child. I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? It's not. This dude doesn't make logical debate, discourse, or nothing, and his channel is growing at an obscene rate. This piece of crap has already been viewed 400 times today.
I need to know about the order.
If not your criminal ass,
What
is on you because you've been legally notified.
No, you have not been legally notified. To be notified of the law, it either has to be published, right? So it's published in where they put all the laws, the statutes, the Federal Register, whatever, where they put the laws. You've been notified. But they're not saying that it's a state or county or city law. They're saying it's a judge's order. So where is the judge's order? Well, it might be on their website. It might be in their books. But the order implicates everybody who walks in the door. Putting a sign on the door that says, no audio and video recording is not noticed. And like I said, I just brought up all kinds of reasons, like the Americans with Disabilities Act and procedural and substantial due process that require more than just this sign that says no audio and video recording.
Of what the law is there, or the policy, and inside that policy.
See the order?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
I'm being here anyway.
And all he's asking for is, can I see the order? It should be posted. The order itself should be posted, so they could have a big sign that says no audio video recording in this building, and that could be laminated in big letters, and at the bottom it could say lift up to see the order, and then you lift it up and there's the order signed by the judge, and it outlines it must outline your due process, your substantial and procedural due process. Like, for example, if you need to audio record something for a disability, they have to have a procedure right there for you to follow. If they don't, then they're violating federal law.
Business?
I have business here, correct.
Get outta
Can I get your
here.
name and badge number, though?
I'm not a cop.
But he has no right to privacy.
You're acting like one.
Got all them honey buns to get that damn man boobs.
Oh yeah, let's joke about how prison rape is such an awesome deterrent because, that's how emotional states work and stuff. If a woman is way less likely to resort to drugs and crime and depression and all kind of mental health orders, after they've been raped than before. I mean, yeah, but they deserve it because they're criminal. Recorded some building and police and stuff and weren't supposed to, and didn't follow directions like a little bitch they're supposed to pretend to be. Didn't do all that, so yeah, they need to be right. I mean, I don't even know what this dude is so off base.
Ridiculous. Sit, stand.
He complied
Honey.
like a good citizen. Why don't you try being one?
That's your mentality. I don't even.
Know this.
Just taking pictures and I'm not going any sense.
Time, place, and manner restrictions. See,
No. We've been over this. Time, place, and manner. It's not imposing limits on noise level of speech. Well, a video camera doesn't make noise. Capping the number of protesters who may occupy a given forum. Well, that's not what they're doing. Barring early morning or late evening demonstrations, restricting the size or placement of signs on government property. Time, place, and manner has to serve some sort of specific governmental interest, and then it has to be narrowly tailored to serve that interest. So if they really do have situations where they have court cases where people and victims need to be protected, then what they could do is have a system of signs or lights or something where they turn those on and then you can't record. But what they're doing is they're saying, well, somebody could and this could and maybe that and other thing and all these possibilities, so you just never can record in this building. And that isn't equitable. That's not lawful. It isn't narrowly tailored at all. They try to say, well, it is narrowly tailored. We're only restricting the freedom of speech regarding video and audio recording. Okay, well, where's the alternative means then? Because you also have to give an alternative means. But this freaking redneck idiot douchebag motherfucker, he read somewhere, he's basically a sovereign citizen. He read he's an anti-sovereign. He's the opposite of a sovereign. He does the same thing as sovereign citizens, but his motive is the opposite. So, a sovereign citizen will read some crap about how travel is a right and it can't be licensed and yada yada yada. And so they'll say, well, I don't need a driver's license then because travel's a right, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, he's doing the same thing here. He doesn't understand what the hell he's talking about at all. And all he read somewhere is time, place, and manner restrictions. And so that's what he says, just like a sovereign citizen. Time, place, and manner. They told you the manner is restricted, no audio, video recording, and the time is all the time, and the place is here, this whole place. See, time, place, manner restrictions. Check. What about the rest of it?
if you were a real journalist, you would know this.
Well, I mean, he's still waiting for his application to the Library of Congress to get his press pass.
Just taking pictures and I'm not going any sensitive areas or restricted areas.
A second, because of the sensitivity and the nature of that.
Yes, I'm
And if he was really violating an order, either the judge would want to see him for contempt.
The only person I see.
But see, they don't even do that. If you violate an order, that is contempt. Okay, and then there's a whole process of contempt. So what they say is this is an order, and then what they say is, well, you're violating the order, and then what they say is, well, we're going to arrest you for violating an order. Only the judge can implement contempt for not following an order. And he can't delegate that either. He can't delegate, oh, I hereby authorize anybody in here recording, I authorize the sheriff to go ahead and arrest them for 5 days for contempt of court. Can't do that. In each case, there has to be due process. So Can't be arrested until you've seen the court and the judge sentences you to contempt. But that's not what they do.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so
Content for a story. Translation: I'm an unemployed high school dropout with a felony
But
record.
you pick on all fat people. This guy looks kind of fat, and he seems to have some man boobs. And this guy's kind of fat, and that guy's kind of fat.
Prison
We
stint.
got a
method.
lot of fat
Was,
people, but you're only
very
picking on
beautiful, the
one person.
architecture,
I wonder why.
those confidential cases, sir,
Look,
respectfully,
these
are
people
probably
look
handled
way in
inside
shape.
of the
Look at that
courtroom.
belly.
It doesn't matter.
Look at that
Since you're
belly
doing this
coming
shit
over
for
the
profit,
belt.
federal law says for liability release, but you
Oh
do
my God.
have a release of liability waiver when you film anybody for
Oh, bullshit. If that was true, you would need a release of liability to use this guy's image right now. That release of liability doesn't end just because somebody else put copyrighted work somewhere on the internet. If that's how it worked, you're breaking that law right now, and I'm breaking it now by republishing what you did, which was breaking the law. Photo. And then what happens is I take that photo and I say, see, Elon Musk supports my business. He endorses it. He says you should buy my product. That is using a person's likeness for financial gain and all that. Not just, oh, I took a photo of a public beach and there was some lady there and now she's suing me for using her likeness as endorsement and blah. No. This dude is an idiot.
especially minors. No, you don't have to have the minor's signature.
Minors have no extra rights. There's no, if you're out in public, I mean, I'm saying this, but as far as creep factor goes, there is like an acceptability of creep factor. I mean, oh, I just like going to the pool and taking photos of kids. That's not gonna fly, even if you legally can do it. Your rights are gonna get violated there, and nobody's gonna. It's gonna be a dilly gaff situation because nobody's gonna give a fuck. But just in a courthouse, you know, context matters. Context matters. I mean, a kid doesn't have any special privacy rights or anything. They just don't have the ability to contract. So a minor can't waive or give you permission or anything like that.
You're on a waiver of liability release, but you
No, you don't need that. That's only if you want to use the person for promotional means. Just because you have a photo of them and they entered your video. Like this video here is 17 minutes long, so he owns the whole video just because he's in there for 2 minutes.
do have to have their parents' permission, you moron.
No, you don't have to have parents' permission.
where there's confidentiality and there's rules against recording, I'm sure, and things of that nature. I'm sure nobody's handling private matters out here, and I'm sure I couldn't.
Yes, yeah, because a lawyer would never step out of the courtroom into a hallway to speak to their client in private, would they? So that nobody could hear.
Yes, a lawyer would never walk out into a hallway of a courtroom and speak to his client thinking that was private, because it's not. There's the door, I think, right there to the courthouse. So if he walked out right there and I was sitting right here, he would think that he had privacy, but he wouldn't. And any lawyer worth his salt would never, ever, ever step out into a hallway and then talk to his client on anything that was privileged. Ever. So you're an idiot. To the third power now.
Hear them?
Hear them anyway.
What's your last name, Sean?
Oh, just regarding government account.
How many actual abuses or corruptions has he exposed aside from the?
Well, as you are showing, he's not allowed to expose anything because immediately he gets disrupted and obstructed by the Gestapo here. So, you know, you're playing both sides of that argument. Look, you can't record. I mean, they're never going to let you. It's right for them to throw you out and block you and all that. And why haven't you gotten any corruption on video?
The ones that he's made up in his head. And do you moron him for Long Island Audit?
Because they told the state sheriffs here told me, didn't you?
Well, they're just trying to explain to you here is so.
Yeah, I mean,
Something. Yeah, we just whatever.
But building, you need to learn what time, place, and manner restrictions.
So do you, and they all need to learn about the actual requirements of having time, place, and manner restrictions in a society that also has procedural and substantial due process, and the impacts and effects of their actions by doing all this stupid shit. Okay? You can't just say, time, place, and manner. This isn't the time, this isn't the place, and this isn't the manner. That's not how that law works.
Are and who sets them. And would you please teach Brooklyn Audit what those words mean? I know you know them, you're just too lazy to act.
The words don't mean anything. You can look up time, you can look up place, you can look up manner, and you can look up restrictions. You can compile a whole report on those 4 concepts, and you will never understand the actual law surrounding time, place, and manner restrictions.
Actually apply them.
Protect everybody else as well. That's it.
Yeah, well, I'm done. This dude is an excellent example of what I called Tyrannizer. A Tyrannizer. I don't care how you pronounce it. I'm not even sure how you pronounce it. Maybe we can get voice synthesis. Let's see what voice synthesis says. Ultra realistic speak. Alright. Are you just gonna let me do a test or whatever? I'm done with that. Free text to speech. Here we go. We're gonna do Jane.
I still get nightmares.
Just want you to read one word, dear. And take your sweet time about it.
Tyrannizer.
Tyrannizer. Well, according to the rules of phonetics based on text to speech or voice synthesis, it is pronounced
Tyrannizer.
Tyrannizer. Tyrannizer. Fraudit Wrangler is a tyrannizer. A douchebag that wants to promote tyranny. Anyways,